we got a 5200. I found it on Craigslist shortly after the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I had actually looked for one at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and they had one. I forget if it was the 4-player or the 2-player version, but he had one, and one controller and a trackball. And I wasn't sure if I wanted it, and when I went back, somebody else had taken it. So I found this one about a week later on Craigslist, and it looked like a good bundle. It comes with quite a few games, quite a few controllers, and I jumped on it. The guy initially wanted $225 for it, and I negotiated it down to $175, which is still pretty high.
Yeah. Well, from the videos that I've seen with you, it's not really a system we want.
Well, I want it. I'm super excited about getting it.
Not as excited.
No. Well, it's fun. You liked Missile Command.
I did.
And Centipede.
Yeah, I did.
So we'll talk about that. But this is the one I got. It's a 2-player version, which is a later revision of the hardware. It uses a standard AC adapter. The 4-player version, the initial version of the Atari 5200, had this combo RF unit power supply where a single cord would go to the unit, and it's a very specific piece of hardware. This second revision, they fixed that, and it uses just a standard AC adapter that plugs directly into the unit, and then a standard RF cable that goes with it. And the other benefit of the 2-player version,
I've used this thing.
You should see the ColecoVision. The other benefit of the 2-player version is that it will support the 2600 adapter. So we could play 2600 games on this, which of course is what everyone wants to do when they upgrade their hardware. They want to play their old games on it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. So anyway, this is it, and as you can see, it's fairly large, and so to help you guys kind of understand how big it is, I've got a picture here of the M51 Galaxy. Now this Galaxy is estimated to be somewhere between 40,000 and 80,000 light years across. And you can see that when I put the 5200 in front of this picture, it covers it completely. So the 5200 is extremely large. You could say larger than this M51 Galaxy. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely pretty heavy, pretty large. Part of that size comes from the fact that you can store the controllers back here. Now I think Atari was trying to copy the ColecoVision, the Intellivision, but what they failed to consider was that on those systems you can store the controllers while keeping them plugged in. Mm-hmm. And on the 5200, since they plug in the front here, you have to unplug them to stick them in the storage. So I don't know that I'm going to be using this storage very often. And what I find is that when I pick the thing up, it often flips open on me, and I almost drop the thing all the time. So anyway, this is the system that came with the bundle. I also got 4 controllers, 4 standard controllers with it, which I thought was a pretty good deal because these controllers seem to be worth. I dropped one, but here's the other 3. They seem to be worth quite a bit of money. Now, only one of them works.
When they work.
Yeah, when they work. And only one of these works. I took it apart, I cleaned it, I got it to work a little bit better. Apparently, you know, there are some contacts in there that they will, I don't know what the right word is, it's not corroded, they maybe oxidize, they get like they kind of discolor a little bit, and you can just clean them off with an eraser. So I took this apart, I cleaned off the contacts, they work much better. I'm hoping that with the other 3 that are broken, again, one of them's on the floor, but the other 3 that are broken, I'm going to be able to clean them up and get them to work. So, pretty happy about getting those. In addition to the standard controllers, the ad mentioned that he had the third-party Wico. This is the Wico Command Control, which, as I understand it, is used to, you know, it's a centering joystick, so it solves many of the problems of the original 5200 joystick. The problem is that it uses a standard 9-pin connector, and it requires a Y adapter so that you can use it with the keypad with the original controllers. This will replace the joystick part, and then you still use the regular controller for the keypad. But it requires a Y adapter cable, and those weren't included in the bundle. So that's that was kind of disappointing. So I haven't been able to try these out, but hopefully they'll solve some. I can get those Y adapters and they'll solve the problem. The other thing it came with was the trackball controller, which I'm pretty excited about too. I did try this out, it works great. We tried it with Centipede and Missile Command, and it works great. What I thought was originally discoloration here, it was pink, was actually a protective film that they had put on at the manufacturer, and I was able to get some of it off, but apparently it's been on there for so long that a little bit of it stuck, so I got to clean that off. But other than that, other than a cosmetic problem, trackball controller works great, and it's pretty exciting to be able to play Missile Command with the trackball.
I'll give you that.
I used to love Missile Command on the 2600, and it's really great to be able to play it with the trackball. So that is it for the hardware. So I wanted to mention the games that I got with it. There are quite a few games, and I'm pretty excited about that. I did get Super Breakout, which I think was the game that was bundled with the Atari 5200 originally.
I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. And I got the manual for this at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, so I now have this with the manual. I haven't tried this with the roller trackball yet. But love this game on the 2600, so
I like that game too.
Was excited to see that, and especially since it was the one that was bundled with the system. And then, of course, I've already mentioned Centipede and Missile Command. Again, two arcade classics. I really like Missile Command. It's one of my favorites on the 2600. I've always enjoyed that game. Centipede, it's pretty good too.
Centipede.
Yeah, she likes it. So that was fun. Couple of sports games, or 4 sports games that came with it. I don't really care for the sports games, but Real Sports Baseball, Real Sports Football, soccer. Apparently not a real sports. It's maybe a pseudo or virtual. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, this one doesn't have real sports on it, so I guess it's fake. And Real Sports Tennis. So pretty good there. 4 sports games, not too shabby. Moving on to some of the other standard 5200, we got Dig Dug, Galaxian, Kangaroo. These are all arcade ports. Mario Brothers, which it's not Super Mario Brothers obviously, but it is Mario Brothers. Some people aren't aware of this game. It was on the 2600 also. It involves it may involve Luigi, I don't even know, but Mario's in there and you're basically knocking these guys, these critters come out of the pipes, and you got to bump up underneath them and knock them over, and then dispatch them, and then you'll get a coin. I think Luigi must be in it, because I'm pretty sure I've played this competitive as a 2-player competitive on the 2600 at least. Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, still not arcade. They're closer to the arcade. They're definitely better than the 2600 versions. The ghosts are colored. The maze is actually blue instead of that tan.
It did look
so it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, those are great to have. And Pengo and Kicks. Not much to say about these. Kicks is kind of a fun game. I haven't tried Pengo too much, but I think that just involves kicking some ice cubes around and trying to squash the guys on the screen. So those are it for the first party stuff, and then there was a stack of the third party stuff. Activision, Kaboom, fantastic. Love Kaboom on the 2600. I like it with the paddle controllers, and it's pretty clear, I think, that when Atari designed this 5200 controller, they were trying to combine the joystick and the paddle together. They made it analog, they made it non-centering, so it actually kind of works okay with games like Super Breakout or with Kaboom, where initially it was a paddle controller. But of course, for many other games,
like Pac-Man,
like Pac-Man, it's just difficult to do. And in fact, I noticed with some other games, like Frogger and Q*bert, which I have here, in order to actually move, you move the stick in the direction you want to go, and then you hit the fire button to jump. And I think that's a direct consequence of the fact that the stick doesn't center right. So you move it in the direction, and then you press jump. Now, I found that a very difficult control scheme, and I think it was designed to overcome the shortcoming of the controller. But I did find, at least with Frogger, that you can do a keypad mode where you press the keypad in the direction you want to move, and you'll instantly hop in that direction. And I was much more successful using that control. I'm hoping that Q*bert has a similar control scheme, and if not, I'll just play it on the ColecoVision, because that's just as good a version.
Good
Going
thing we
back,
have both.
Yeah, you gotta have both. Yeah, and we'll talk about, you know, the Atari 5200 maybe isn't the first game console that you should get. It's kind of, you should get a ColecoVision before you get a 5200 or get an Intellivision, you know. And it should kind of be towards, I would say, the tail end. That's my opinion. Is it's not one of the first ones you'd want to get, but
If at all.
if at all. Well, I think I'm still pretty excited about it. So we got River Raid, Activision. That's another great one. This one I had not heard about or didn't know anything about. Star Trek. It looks kind of interesting. It's a Sega game apparently, and actually after I got this, I found they made this for the Atari 2600 too. I found this cartridge for the 2600 at a thrift shop over the weekend. I didn't buy it, but maybe I'll go back and get it. But this is Star Trek for the 5200. This one might be I can't remember. This one might be a little bit on the rarer side. Anyway, some other. So we talked about Frogger and Qbert. Here's some other Parker Brothers, or are they Parker Brothers? This one says Konami. Well, anyway, Super Cobra game. Yeah, it says Parker Brothers on the back here. Gyrus. And this one I know is somewhat sought after. Star Wars the arcade game. So these all came loose, no manuals with them, and no overlays, which would attach back here. But given the number of games, I don't know how many there are exactly, somewhere in the 20s. And the number of games and the number of controllers and everything, I thought it was a pretty good deal. And, you know, I did buy some at PRGE, which unfortunately are now duplicates. This one actually I got at Goodwill, so this is now a duplicate. And Pac-Man, this is the one I got at PRGE. That's a duplicate. Qbert, this one's actually in worse shape than the one that came with the bundle. And then I got Joust. This is the only unique one that I got at PRGE that didn't come in this bundle. And I actually haven't tried this one yet, but we'll have to give that a try. So that's it. We got a 5200. I'm very excited about it. There's some great games here, some good hardware, and I think it supplements the sort of the classic consoles, the 2600, the Intellivision, the ColecoVision very well. So now I just have to figure out what I'm going to get next.
No.
No? Any suggestions for the next console? How about a Neo Geo?
No.
Neo Geo, right? Okay. I also got from this guy an NES bundle, which we don't have time for today, but maybe we'll do that in another video.
Yeah, you had two good bundles.
Yeah, two good bundles.
That was a
right after PRGE, so I really got to rein in the
spending.
So, we're gonna have to rein in the spending a little bit. But
and we're gonna have to do some shopping for some.
Still need that storage space. Yeah.
Still need the storage.
Looking around the house for that. So, anyway, that's our 5200 pickup.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks.